Welcome, nutritionradio.org listeners. This is Lonnie Lowry, a university nutrition professor of over 20 years and podcast host of long-running shows like Iron Radio. Come on in.
Trends in Science.
Hey, everybody. As we continue with Season 1, the official first season, and we're eventually going to move toward maybe even a little advertising and things, try to get the word out, always honoring our original listeners here. I just want to start with a quick comment here. This is from Joel. Thanks, Joel. I hate sounding like a fanboy, but it's so great hearing your voice and level-headed information again. I'm passing this on to all the other meathead thinkers in my life. Keep it up, please. It's great. Joel. Joel is an engineer, and I especially personally appreciate people who are science-minded and then like the nutrition and the weightlifting and all of that kind of stuff. So thank you, sir. I'm going to try to be better about mentioning listener comments, too. So if you make a comment on YouTube, you can actually just search YouTube at Lawnman07. I don't really use YouTube for much more than a backup, but please go ahead and leave a comment there. I will get it, or just send me an email directly at lawnman7@hotmail.com. I love the input, and we need it as we start to shape this brief format news show. Today, though, we're going to talk about purple fruits and vegetables. When we talk about trends in science, polyphenols in general, and I love, there's actually a map, a polyphenol map that I call it. I actually spoke partly about this at the International Society of Sports Nutrition meeting last summer in 2022. Kim et al., Polyphenols and Glycemic Control. It's from Nutrients 2016, and it really shows the big map. So polyphenols, think big overarching map of all of these plant-based chemicals, these phytochemicals that can be good for your health in any number of ways. Today we're going to talk about blood sugar control and glycemia, but they include major categories, right? There are flavonoids, and those include the class of compounds that we're talking about, the anthocyanidins. But there's also polyphenols, including like phenolic acids, right? So that's like the chlorogenic acid and caffeic acid in coffee. Most of you know that I've been researching coffee and fitness and wellness, and including blood sugar control for a long time now, about 9 years or so, 10 years. And there are other categories here too, still beans and lignans and other things, all polyphenols. Today, we're going to focus on those purple compounds. This is from Science Daily and the University of Turku in Finland. Brand new stuff, mid-February 2023. And in fact, let me just do an aside. I fully plan to do bonus episodes that are going to be longer than 10 minutes coming down the pike. And I'm going to do one on polyphenols, including coffee and blueberry. Really surprising things that fitness-related people do that probably help with their absorption and things like that. So let's talk about that today. Purple vegetables and tubers have anti-diabetic properties. That's the title here. It's about this new review paper. It says the red, purple, and blue pigments in fruits, vegetables, and tubers called anthocyanins can reduce the risk of diabetes by affecting energy metabolism, gut microbiota, right? So all of the little bacteria in your primarily large intestine, and inflammation. The beneficial effect of anthocyanins on type 2 diabetes is increased if the anthocyanin is acylated. And that's kind of what this is about today. If I was doing more YouTube channels, I'd show you what acylation is. I don't want to get into it too much except for the practical application. It says a great amount of acylated anthocyanins can be found in purple potatoes, purple sweet potatoes, radishes, purple carrots, and red cabbages. And by contrast, bilberries and mulberries contain mostly non-acylated anthocyanins. Now, where are we going with this? Well, they point out accurately, and this is what a bonus-ode I would like to do on blueberries and various blue and purple fruits and veg. Anthocyanins are poorly absorbed, very poorly absorbed in some cases, but they have probiotic properties and reduce the risk of diabetes more efficiently than non-acylated anthocyanins. And again, this is according to this paper from Finland. It says they can also improve the intestinal barrier that enables the absorption of necessary nutrients. Now, I think that's an almost unfortunate way to describe it. Yes, it's a barrier, but it's also the absorption layer, right? The unstirred layer, if you will, along the villi, the little nubs in your intestine that help with nutrient absorption. But also, it says suppresses pro-inflammatory pathways. So just because you don't absorb them, certainly in their entirety, doesn't mean that they're not having an effect. The gut microbiota can get a hold of them and then produce compounds that are helpful to you. A quote here, acylated anthocyanins travel through our bodies from the upper gastrointestinal tract to the colon, where they are metabolized by the gut microbiota. Again, colon, large bowel, large intestine, same thing. Usually not a huge amount of absorption going on there. Most absorption, of course, from the small intestines. Anyway, it says glucose transporters are involved in anthocyanin absorption, and again, those are primarily going to be in the small intestines. But glucose transporters involved in anthocyanin absorption, but different glucose transporters are responsible for the absorption of acylated and non-acylated anthocyanins. So interestingly, right, those glucose transporters help get the sugars that you eat, right, into your bloodstream, ultimately as glucose. They're involved in these purple compounds and how they get absorbed, and there's different transporters, right? Different transporters for different sugars. In this case, different transporters affecting the absorption of these different purple compounds. So I think this is very interesting stuff, brand new stuff from 2023 from Chen and colleagues. Here's the title of the original paper. Please go take a look if you are so predisposed, because there's a cool graphic there and everything else. Anthocyanins as promising molecules affecting energy homeostasis, inflammation, and gut microbiota in type 2 diabetes, with special reference to impact of acylation. So that seems to be the main advancement here in this paper, is noticing from the literature that there is this acylation effect that sort of changes some of the benefits. If you want to better understand acylation, I would just go to Wikipedia. They do a good job. It just starts off by saying, in chemistry, acylation is a broad class of chemical reactions in which an acyl group, which is a side chain and then a carbon double bonded to an oxygen, is added to a substrate. And again, in this case, it has physiological impact. More relevant to what we're talking about here, the authors describe the different structures of common anthocyanins. Again, these blue-purple compounds that are healthful. It says an example of a non-acylated and an acylated anthocyanin. So they show how glucose gets attached to a certain position of the anthocyanidin, and that forms a non-acylated anthocyanin. And then, of course, more chemistry changes its structure and its biological activities. If we go to the discussion portion of the original paper, it said acylated anthocyanins have greater inhibitory effect on alpha-glucosidase and alpha-amylase compared to the non-acylated anthocyanins. That sounds weird to those of us interested in digestion. Like, why would you want to inhibit digestive enzymes? But that's one of the things that could be a pro or a con, depending on whether you want to be digesting and absorbing a bunch of additional carbohydrate. Maybe you don't, for example, if you already have problems with high blood sugar, like a diabetic. But even in those of us who aren't, it's interesting, right? Carb control is a very interesting topic. Again, Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry, 2023. It's 71-2, pages 1002 to 1017. Again, for you hardcore nerds who want to check out the PDF, or those who want to see the little graphic, because of course pictures are worth 1,000 words. The NutritionRadio.org podcast is for informational purposes only. If you're interested in starting a diet or exercise program, check with your physician, nutritionist, or qualified exercise physiologist in order to make the progress that you need.